Ask children what they want to become. Chances are they'll say pilot. Aviation. It's one of humankind's truly great achievements, connecting people and shipping goods around the world on an unprecedented scale. However, it also contributes significantly to CO2 emissions. If we want to reach the sustainability goals of the Paris Agreement, aviation will need to drastically reduce its CO2 emissions. For short-distance flights, the solutions could be flying electrically combined with hydrogen and fuel cells. These are long-term solutions, however, and are a long way from being available for long-distance flights. In the coming decades, one substantial way of achieving the necessary CO2 reduction in aviation is to use sustainable aviation fuel, or in short, SAF. SAF is a descriptive name for various aviation fuels that reduce CO2 emissions relative to fossil-based kerosene, and which can be used in place of fossil-based kerosene to power commercial aeroplanes. To be used in aeroplanes, SAFs must be certified for safety, performance, and sustainability. Well-known SAFs are bio-based fuels obtained from sustainable resources like waste oils, and they can even be produced from woody biomass, renewable waste, and residual waste sources. Another kind of SAF that is receiving increasing attention is synthetic kerosene, an example of an e-fuel. It is made from hydrogen generated by using green electricity and water, and from carbon dioxide captured from refineries, or simply from the air. There are multiple ways of producing synthetic kerosene. We will show you one of them. An electrolyzer splits water into hydrogen and oxygen. The hydrogen can be combined with the carbon dioxide at high temperature to form syngas, a gas mixture consisting of H2 and CO. A catalyst then stitches the molecules in the synthesis gas together to create long strands of hydrocarbons. Finally, these strands are cut up using a molecular scissor. The result is a liquid component, synthetic kerosene. At the moment, it is possible to blend this with fossil-based kerosene for up to 50% of the total volume of an aeroplane's fuel load. In the future, however, an aeroplane will probably be able to fly solely on synthetic kerosene. The methods and processes used to produce synthetic kerosene are not new and are used for several other products. The real challenge lies in turning this from something that is technically possible to something that is economically viable. We can do this by reducing the costs through innovation, scaling up the production, and optimizing the availability of the resources used in this process. Since this requires a joint effort from a diverse group of technology development companies within the production chain, we can only do this by working together. This way, the costs of producing synthetic kerosene will decrease, stimulating a shift from fossil fuels to SAF. Synthetic kerosene is not a silver bullet, but in combination with other SAF production pathways, it will make aviation more sustainable. And even better, SAF brings new economic opportunities for sustainable energy producers, for new jobs, and for the Netherlands as an international hub for SAFs. This way, sustainability can go hand in hand with recovery for a hard-hit sector, building trust amongst citizens that aviation is working to become future-proof for this generation and generations to come. So when we ask our future children and grandchildren what they want to become, they will be proud to answer, pilot. We need all parties to make this a reality, starting now. Let's discuss today the steps we need to take to make this happen.
Good morning. Good morning and welcome to the high-level conference on synthetic SAF, sustainable aviation fuel. We are broadcasting live from this beautiful location, the Fokker Terminal in Den Haag, the Netherlands. For the coming hours, we have an energetic and interactive program ready for you, with beautiful speakers from all over Europe. experts from both the industry as well as some prominent politicians. However, due to the extreme weather circumstances in the Netherlands, it is advised today not to travel. That means that all our guests today will dial in and be online present here with me in the studio. I'm looking forward to it. Our host of today, who will also be dialing in from her home office, is our Minister of Infrastructure and Water Management, Cora van Nieuwenhuizen. She will give her opening speech and towards the end of the conference reflect on what we have discussed together. Another special welcome to Frans Timmermans, the Executive Vice President of the European Commission. And with the Green Deal, he is one of the driving forces behind today's topic. And he will give a speech and his reflections on the topic later this morning. And of course, a welcome to our keynote speakers of today. In order of appearance, we have Jean-Baptiste Djebbari. He is the Minister of Transport for France. Then we have Adina Vallaan, European Commissioner for Transport, and Andreas Scheuer, the Minister of Transport and Digital Infrastructure from Germany. My name is Frauke Kramer. I will be your moderator today. And in that role, I'll make sure we stick to the script. All the several guests and speakers will be introduced. And of course, I will be strict on timekeeping. Again, welcome to all of you all over Europe on the front row. It is time to introduce the Minister from the Netherlands from Infrastructure and Water Management, Cora van Nieuwenhuizen.
Thank you. Esteemed colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Kramer. On September 1st last year, a scale model of the Flying V successfully completed its first test flight. The Flying V is a new kind of aircraft with a revolutionary design that uses 20% less fuel. And that gives us hope, because we need to drastically reduce our carbon footprint. Aviation is responsible for 2 to 3% of anthropogenic carbon emissions worldwide. We're building lighter aircrafts, we're improving aerodynamics, we're working non-stop to improve the performance of jet engines. But what if we can make fuel itself sustainable? Today, we're opening another chapter in the story of aviation. And I'm very pleased and proud to tell you that. It's the story we need today. A hopeful story. In the coronavirus pandemic, air travel has practically come to a standstill. Many people have lost their jobs. Airlines and airports, vital organs of the global economy, have run into extremely heavy weather. And it will take years before the aviation sector is operating on the same level as before. Because aviation isn't just a symbol of our global connectedness. It is the actual connection between ourselves and our families, between ourselves and our work. Progress is not a return to the old normal. Together, we face the challenge of making aviation sustainable. The goal is clear. Ultimately, aviation will need to achieve zero carbon emissions. Biofuels are currently producing some, though limited, environmental benefits for aviation. And synthetic kerosene will be the next step. This innovation will play a crucial role in coming decades in reducing carbon emissions from aviation. But synthetic kerosene doesn't only mean fewer carbon emissions. It contains no sulfur or aromatics, so it will also lead to a substantial reduction in fine particulate matter. With the right sustainable production methods, the environmental benefits will be substantial. We can now see that it's feasible, that it works. A direct, effective measure developed and delivered at the request of the aviation sector itself. A major contribution to speeding up the energy transition in aviation. And now we face the next challenge, to scale up this innovation and take the sustainability in the sector to the next level. The Netherlands is happy to take the lead. We have robust chemical and manufacturing industries, the right knowledge partners, and the necessary infrastructure, like pipelines, maritime ports, airports, and our national airline KLM. European cooperation is the key to international and shared success. Commissioner Frans Timmermans' European Green Deal bursts with ambition. The Dutch ambition is flying with 14% sustainable aviation fuel by 2030. We all have our part to play in working towards sustainable aviation. Petrochemicals and other industries, airlines and airports, EU member states, countries around the world, and companies and travelers too. And the short video that you just saw recorded the first commercial flight with synthetic kerosene in the aircraft's fuel tank. Together, we've opted for a green future, and the future has begun. Ladies and gentlemen, today we celebrate a small step forward in a major program that we're going to shape together. And now, let's get to work. We've got a lot to discuss. Thank you everyone for being here online today.
Thank you, Minister van Nieuwenhuizen, for your welcome and clear introduction. We have seen the introductory video on sustainable aviation fuel, and let me explain a little bit of what is next on the program. We have several themes prepared for you, and each theme will be discussed in a panel according to the subject's presence. That results in 5 blocks. We will start with technology. After that, we have a panel which will discuss a showcase, a scoop that I will not yet reveal here. Then we have sustainability as an important aspect of SAF. Fourth, we have economy. And we finish with governmental statements. Governmental statements from 5 European ministers and 1 Minister of State. That is Sweden, Denmark, Finland, Latvia, Luxembourg and Spain. Frans Timmermans will then reflect on today's topic with a live speech. And the closing wrap-up we will do again with our Minister Cora van Nieuwenhuizen. Let's start with the first panel discussion, technology.